Me this opportunity to be able to just talk in front of you guys right now. We all have heard the saying, never judge a book by its cover. Why is that, we all ask? Well, because life is like a calculus problem. If you judge one variable and mess something up, you get the whole equation wrong, which equals a different result than what we all know. A lot of times people like to address me as a biker or a rowdy, rebellious kid or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, I'm just a unique individual known as Mr. One of a Kind, as a lot of my friends like to know me as. Here's a few elements that just make me who I am as a person. My upbringing as a kid, I wasn't a typical American kid. I was actually a military brat. I've seen most of the world, and I've actually seen a lot more of the world than most people have ever seen. I've been to Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, China, the Philippine Islands, Australia. That was just my life the first 10 years as a kid. So I was never really around a lot of American stuff. I was actually around a lot of a mixture of things. So I've had a very unique influence and upbringing. As a kid, most of my friends were surprisingly Asian. I was always hanging out with kids, at the playground. We were playing Power Rangers and found out the Power Rangers were originally from Japan, so it makes my worldview a lot more interesting than most people would have ever expected. Also, my interest in martial arts, having a lot of connection to the Asian culture. I mean, I was eating chopsticks, at age 8, with a lot of my friends, enjoying a lot of sushi and stuff like that, when most kids my age were eating pizza, were eating hot dogs, tacos, and all that other stuff. So it was a very unique experience being a military brat, living on different military bases growing up. When my parents got divorced, that definitely changed my worldview consistently. So as a kid, I wasn't necessarily stable. I was always learning a lot more unique things because I've always had to adapt to survive and adapt to my surroundings, my culture, and stuff like that. Speaking of my upbringing, I was raised as not just a military brat, but a Jewish kid at the same time, which has basically played an integral part of who I am as a person and my faith these days. A lot of you guys know I go to the Seventh-day Adventist High Church here in Redlands, but I have more of a Messianic Jewish perspective based off of life events that have happened to me, from surviving a volcano eruption when I was 4 years old in the Philippine Islands. Mount Pinatubo has been very well documented about that, to surviving a couple motorcycle accidents, car accident, and even some of my own personal demons I've incorporated over the course of my life. My faith in Christ has played an integral part as far as me keeping a good positive attitude, keeping my head on straight, and still being able to have a specific healthy lifestyle that I tend to go by. My faith in the Lord has really, really helped guide me and give me a lot of direction where a lot of people in my life have failed me tremendously. People like my dad and people who have come in for a quick season, kind of fulfilling a father role and then disappearing out of my life consistently. So my faith in Christ has played an integral part of who I am as a person to this day. I've had a lot of influences growing up. I've had to pick up as much as I could as a kid because my mom was always working, trying to hustle, trying to keep, food up, food in me and my sister's belly, roof over our heads, just always consistently working, especially once her and my dad got divorced. So the fact that I was always surrounded by great people is always, and being able to survive as much as I've been able to has been one heck of a blessing as just in general. And also my interest in religion has also kind of helped. Sorry, I lost my point. Going from military base to military base and picking up all the different influences I've had to pick up on, I picked up a lot of key interests as far as my life, from learning different religions to just different tastes in things in general. As a kid, I was always on the back of a motorcycle from 4 years old, which is probably the reason why I love motorcycles to this day. From being on my dad's Honda Shadow, him always telling me, "Hold on to my belt and hold on to my jacket." my mom cringing, going like, "Oh my God, someone's gonna call CPS on us because there's a 4-year-old on the back of a motorcycle." Also, a lot of interest, like I said, having a lot of Asian friends growing up, I've always incorporated a lot of Asian music and stuff like that, which is probably why if you ever see me downstairs listening to music, you're probably going to hear something other than rock and roll, rap, reggae, or jazz. You're going to hear K-pop, you're going to hear some, variations of Asian music all around me. It's something that's always kind of helped keep me calm and balanced as all the chaos has gone on in my life. I probably didn't stay on point on a lot of things, and I'm probably kind of choppy on everything in general. But at the end of one thing I hope that you take from all this is you can judge me by a lot of different things, by the leather jacket that I wear, by the antics that that come out of my mouth, or my antics and my actions. But at the end of the day, never judge a book by its cover, because you never know exactly who you're talking to or who you're dealing with.